Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we're here for the second day on a Saturday at the Practical Classic Car Show, Restoration Show, sorry. Getting mixed up with the NEC one in November. So we're here on the Lotus Drivers Club stand on a Saturday morning, and there's a lot more people here today. So I thought I'd give you a bit of a guide round the Lotus Drivers Club stand. This is, of course, same as that one, an Esprit 2.2. This was bought for about £16,000, but he's got all the bits, so the windscreen and everything, and he's just sourced the mirrors. So he's now got the mirrors, which will be the same as that one. And this is the state that he's actually got it on, the engine bay and all that. So yeah, so it's all there as to do up. He's got all the bits, and as I say, the wheels are very much standard on this car, 2.2. And as I say, that's what you sort of like would £16,000 you would buy something like that, what we call a barn finder stuck in a garage to be worked on. Whether the paint colour will stop red, he's on debating whether he's going to change it to the blue as we've got here. Now this is fully restored version of that with the same wheels. It was originally the brown colour, same one that in the James Bond film with the skis on top of it. That's how that was. And then he fully restored, nut and bolt restoration. The wheels are the same, as you can see. So there's, and I believe them wheels are in very good condition, even though they're not very clean, but they're the same sort of condition. So it's a 2.2. The interior has been changed. I think it was a very chocolatey brown, but it had been re-dyed. And then everything on here, I believe, because they are very precise Priscilla's about the using the original glass, so it's got to have that motif on it, which makes it original. And so it's as original as it can be, apart from the colour. The colour has changed, but it is, I'm led to believe, a Lotus colour. So it's a 2.2, fully restored. It hasn't done many miles because I think it was done 2 years ago. It's been to a few shows, but he just used it as his show car because the person who owns this, he's got 6 of them. And he's got 2 orange cars as well, which is the Jawco orange ones with the checkered seats. As I say, he's been refurbished the inside, so everything is all as it is. And as for the engine bay, that's the engine bay, as you can see, which is very nice indeed. Fully restored. Gearbox is done in a place near Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. They do all the gearboxes, that's where it goes there. So it is, and also you've even got the book there as well. It was up for sale at one time. Last year they tried to, I think it's, as these cars are going up in price now, this is somewhere around about £50,000 to £55,000 now, fully restored. But he doesn't want to sell it. But if somebody walked up to him and offered him the money, he might be tempted. But he keeps telling me that it's not for sale. But it's a lovely car. And as for anything, what we tried to do at the Practical Classic Car Show is, because we've actually got the chassis here as well, but that is the chassis for an Esprit. So it's all been, this is off a car that he's doing up at the moment, so it's all original. It's not a brand new chassis, so it's all been done with all the pipe work there. So there you got it all there. So hello Mike, good morning. So yeah, so a bit of showing off some of the old, some of the new. And then here we go over to the S1 Exige. So we've got a few cars with the Baby Elan and the Elite there, which used to be owned to Mike Stripe, who's no longer with us at the moment, but we still have got his cars, and it's just an amazing guy. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now here we have the S1 Exige, and for the ones that know this car, it hasn't got the VHPD engine in it anymore. That was removed, and I think it went to an MG race car. But he's on the source to find it again, so it may be converted back. But price-wise, we were just discussing it. This is probably worth about somewhere 45 to 50,000 now, with a proper VHPD engine one, or original, where it's £5,000 more than what these are. So it's I think model-wise, I think they build about, was it? I'll ask Chris. Chris. How many did they build of these?
601 in 1999/2000.
So we're just talking about the price difference between the VHPD and the Honda conversion. We reckon there's only about £5,000 difference, don't we?
We do, but as the years progress, then obviously more people are going to want original. So I suspect in 10, 15 years' time, then the demand for totally unmolested cars will be much greater than it is now. As far as drivability goes, the Honda is just superb. Compared to the Rover VHPD, it just leaves it for dead. However, for originality, then people will want to go for the KCD.
So I'm trying to turn around. There you go. So we can see where we are. It's his car, Chris. Morning.
Morning. Happy days.
Happy days. Yeah. So it's a lovely car though, isn't it? Lovely car on the road, and you, especially with the stripes on it, you can see it coming towards you with the Lotus, with the original rear wing. You haven't bothered to change it. You've kept it all original. The original looks as much as possible.
Yeah, it's fairly original. As far as the paint goes, I'm not a great believer, and I certainly don't love grey silver cars. I think they're just boring, they're bland, and really the stripes are the only thing that differentiates it a little bit. I'd much rather have a real colour.
Yeah, I think it's the same as me when I bought the Lotus Evora. The model was don't buy a black one, because then you end up buying a black one. But sometimes beggars can't be choosers. You see something out there and you've got to go and buy it.
Indeed,
they're getting rare.
we've got a standard S1 Elise, and it's a black one.
Yeah,
fabulous little car.
But I say with the show, I mean, you originally did this show the second year it's been doing the Practical Classic Cars show, and over a period of time now it's getting bigger and bigger, and with the Lotus Drivers Club we're getting more and more cars, more and more show cars, and plus we've been put forward to win two of things, best internet, is it best internet and best car magazine, I think we've been put in for.
Something like that.
I think I've got it right.
Fingers and legs crossed. But the only reason the Exige is here, if Eddie pans round,
to this bit, right? This is the chassis for the Exige, the Elises, even the new Exige is this chassis. Apart from it's a bit wider as well, but that's what you're actually sitting in. It's a massive safety structure. I think Lotus are one of the first ones to go with extruded aluminium bonding. Was it the Saab or Volvo it came from? One of the manufacturers.
But if you look at all this green paint, this is the bonding, and originally it was guaranteed for 13 years.
Yes.
And we're now into its 18th, 19th, 20th
No, Clive,
year.
I didn't bring mine. Mine's too new. Good comment. No, my Lotus Evora is too new. Well, it's not too new because we're not actually doing anything with it. But if we were doing some work on it, like changing the exhaust or doing some mechanical work on it, then in theory it could come in. It's not that much of a strict show as for that. So Clive, one of the presenters from Duggystone at LT, he's a motorbike guy, but I said I'll be here as well. So yeah, no, it's amazing to think that chassis is from, what was it? When did that first come out? The Elise,
1997.
So no, 97, and that hasn't really changed. And then they use the similar sort of structure for the Evora as well, just a bigger version of all their models, but it's pretty lightweight.
And the Hennessy Venom, you may have heard of that. It's an American car where they take basically a Lotus Elise, and then they put a whacking great engine in it, and they have had them up to, I think it's 1200 horsepower.
Yeah.
In that excuse me, that chassis.
Yeah.
Because it's so torsionally strong.
Yeah. Because it allows a little bit of give as well. Right. Thank you very much, Chris, for that one.
You're welcome.
So yeah, now if we go to this one now, where we've got the Baby Elan, we reckon this is worth round about, was it 35 to 40,000 pounds? That one. Paul Matty Sports Cars, which is in Bromsgrove in the UK, he's actually got a few for sale. But that running gear on that is running on this sort of chassis. That's the chassis for the Baby Elan, as we call it. So that's what you're sitting on. It gives you all the structural strength. So yeah, it's pretty, and there's similar sort of shape to the Esprit chassis as well. So you can see the concept of it when you look at that one over there. If I go quickly over here, you can see it's very similar in just a straight beam with torsion bits that come off it. So, as I say, Lotus Drivers Club are here over the past 3 days. Yesterday was the first day of the show, and then we got the Elite, which has just been done up to back on the road. It used to belong to Mike Stripe, who suddenly passed away, but his son has took ownership of it, which is really, really good, and also the Lotus Evora. So this is in the garage, or was, and now it is now back on the road as it should be. As Mike says, these cars are made to be driven, and that's what Lotus Drivers Club do. And it's a Lotus Elite 2.2. There's some of the family pictures there. It's even still got, I hate to say it, the Club Lotus badge in there. So it's all what we call original. But as I say, Lotus Drivers Club are here. If you want to go to our website, there's the insurance issues. Now we've got our own bespoke insurance now. So yeah, and I'm going to have a bit of a tour around later on. But I just thought this is where we are. Wheeler Dealers are down there. Mike Brewer and Ant are down there, and Michelle's down there in that corner there. Pride of ownership, and there's all sorts of cars here as well. So if you're thinking about restoring a car, this is the show to come to buy anything from jacks to welders and things like that. But thanks for listening and watching me doing this bit of a live Facebook on the on my page. And so yeah, here for the next couple of hours. There I'm doing an outside broadcast with Duggystone Radio later on today, so that'd be really good. So there's Eddie King signing off, and yeah, thank you. I'll be back later on with some more live Facebook from the Practical Classic Show at the NEC. See ya.